If you thought Reilly's HOH week was all over the place, if you thought Hisam's HOH was chaotic, oh boy do I have a story for you. We are only a few days into Felicia's HOH run and the target has changed so many times I don't even know what to think. There is a lot to talk about today, but first, make sure you hit the subscribe button below if you have not already, just so you can stay tuned as I will be doing Big Brother recaps all season long. Also, make sure you check out my last video if you have not already, just so you're all caught up. That one's going to be really relevant to today. Now, let's get started. So, when we last left off, Felicia was our HOH, and she had her sights set on Hisam as the target. Pretty much the entire house was in on this plan to blindside Hisam, so it was set to go off smoothly as long as Hisam did not win that veto. Cameron and Jag were both put on the block as pawns and weren't expecting to go home. So on Saturday afternoon, everybody goes off to play in the veto, and when the feeds come back on, we see that Jag has won the power of veto and will obviously be pulling himself off the block, which is going to leave a nice empty seat on the block for Hisam's ass. Right? Now, even though this whole Hisam backdoor plan seemed foolproof at first, there was one miscalculation that's going to alter everything, and that is Cameron's big mouth. This story gets a little complicated, so bear with me. At first, literally every single member of the house was in on this plan to backdoor Hisam. Every single person, except for Red. They didn't tell him anything about the plan, they just kind of hung him out to dry. Mind you, Red is supposed to be a professor along with Cirie and Izzy and Felicia and all them, so not really the cleanest work to leave him out here. So Cameron, being Red's only friend, is going to let him in on this plan to backdoor Hisam, even though he wasn't technically supposed to.
No, there's more to it. If you want me to rope you into the whole thing, I would. If you would rather play ignorant, I would do that too. Whatever you want me to do.
Tell me. Well, I'm solid.
We're gonna send Hisam to the house.
Yeah, I heard. I had an inclination.
Now that Red knows the truth, he starts getting a little nervous because he knows he's being left out. So he's gonna go talk to Felicia to try to fill in the holes. Felicia is super hesitant to open up at first, but eventually she lets him in on the plan.
Yeah, so if you win, would you be willing to use the power of veto, bring Cam down, and be okay with me putting Hisam up and voting his ass out?
Yeah, we can do that. Yeah.
100%?
100%.
And you can't say nothing to him, because if he gets any wind of that, we're done.
It's done.
Yeah.
We can't make it happen.
Yeah.
Now, the thing about Cirie is that she has a keen nose for bullshit, sometimes. And she is able to immediately clock that Cameron was the one that told Red about this whole Hisam backdoor thing. And now the both of them are in trouble.
I hate that Red is acting like he didn't know it was out the loop, because he fucking knew. He knew as good as my name is Cirie. He knew. And they tried to say to Miss Felicia, well, you know, there are big threats out there to get her to say, hey, he already know it. I can see it.
These two are now at the bottom of Cirie's shit list, which is a terrible place to be in this game. Probably worse than being a floater. But wait, it gets worse. Because Red is then gonna go on to rat out the entire Professor's Alliance to freaking Cameron.
What's the specific group?
Very specific.
Well, what is it? Who is it?
Well, you know who it is. We've already discussed that. It's Felicia, Cirie, Izzy, me, Bowie, you. Well, we'll be you. Hisam.
Y'all, this is getting messy. This friendship is gonna get these two in a lot of trouble. It gets to a point where people even reconsider backdooring Hisam in the first place.
I would love if Red or Cameron went home. But if Red goes home, Hisam and Cameron are going to be like this. That's more dangerous than Cameron and Red. Because I think Red he's going to try to preserve his not winning for longer.
All of this paranoia is going to continue to rise when they sit down and really start counting their numbers. They start to realize that if Hisam leaves this week, that'll leave them as a weaker alliance with less numbers. Nah, you think? In reality, I think Cirie is definitely underestimating her influence in this house, and she definitely has more numbers than she thinks she does. Mimi, Bowie, and Red are all more loyal to the professors than she realizes. She's also really overestimating the gameplay of her peers because she's convinced that they have all banded together on the other side against her, which is not really the case.
They're not talking about our 7, and they're not talking about just making sure everything's good, who you not putting up.
Do they think we're stupid?
Clearly they do.
Because they think they got enough people to turn the house around.
In reality, that other side is a lot weaker than her side, so much so that a lot of their members are trying to jump ship over to Cirie's side. Nevertheless, with all this uncertainty in the air, the plans quickly change, and all of a sudden, Hisam is looking super duper safe this week.
So when Hisam's going, we send and follow us.
So you know what we do? We let Hisam run his fucking mouth. We use him to win comps. And we do whatever the fuck we want.
So now this group is going to scramble to find a good replacement nominee. They want someone who they don't trust to sit next to Cameron and lose against him. They consider Mimi, Red, Matt, and more, but ultimately decide on America.
And that's why. And America's a middle person that's flipping back and forth and has said she's going to go wherever the wherever the winner is. So she's not loyal to anyone. So why not get rid of that?
They trust Cameron more than America for whatever reason, so they're hoping that she would get evicted instead and give them the advantage on the numbers. Later on, they bring in Cory and Jared to catch them up to speed. But these guys think that Hisam should still be the one to leave since everybody knows about the backdoor plan already, and they're pretty much past the point of no return.
I just don't know another week with Hisam because like the way I view it is the ship may have sailed, and I think he would be the one in the most trouble because you were the HOH, even if you choose not to get him out, right? And especially if it comes out, because I think like he felt so safe this week because he thought you guys were super close.
It might be too.
I think it's too many people just know
about the plan.
So now, fearing that Hisam would be too dangerous to keep in the game, this group decides to reroute again and flip back to their original plan to take out Hisam. They did all of that damn work just for everything to stay the freaking same. But you know what? Even this is subject to change though, because these people change their minds a lot. Right now, Cameron isn't the group's target at all, but he probably should be. He's starting to wisen up to Cirie and Izzy's gameplay, and he's the first one to really start making plans on taking them out.
You brought me in to the majority, and then you and I are going to create a majority together. Because someone has to fight them, or they're going to go all the way. Then we just have to have votes to take a shot on the core 4. Jared's a wild card once blue leaves, but the core 4 is Mama Cirie, Izzy, and Mimi.
People are starting to whisper about this though. Cameron really isn't keeping this the biggest secret, so we'll see how long he lasts. So that is how week 3 is going so far. It has been a crazy one. Of course, I want to know, what do you all think of this crazy flip-flop plan? Do you think Hisam should be the person they take out this week, or do you think it's smarter to target someone else instead? Let me know in the comments below. This season just has been feeding us so much great content and great gameplay every single day. I'm hoping the best of it makes it on the TV show, but y'all know how that goes. Once again, don't forget to hit the subscribe button below if you have not already, just so you can stay updated as we continue on with this juicy season. Of course, I'll be back to update you all if anything else big happens, but until next time, peace.